Hello. Welcome to Starting Points, where one thing leads to another. I am give you an example. In an earlier video, I made mention that I knew about how the kingfisher built its nest from having read a poem. Well, I got thinking about that, and I thought, I have a book that I'd like you to know about. It's called The Wood is Sweet. The wood being the woods. And the man's name is John Clark. And the poems in this were chosen by David Powell, and with an introduction by Edmund Blunden, who was a poet who wrote about his experiences in the First World War and was an editor and things like that. John Clark was pretty much a self-schooled rustic. He spent his time wandering and writing poems, wandering in the woods and things he observed, and writing about the seasons and nature. And he's written loads of poems about birds' nests. Some of them, about a dozen of them, are in this collection, but this collection isn't just his poems about birds' nests, they're about other natural things that he observed. But the editors felt that this selection would be one that would appeal to younger readers. So I'd like you to know about it. It's available used, and it's a lovely, lovely book. Now, if you like his work, Eric Robinson and Jeffrey Summerfield put together two books. This one shows not only his poems, but prose. Doesn't repeat what's in The Wood is Sweet. Has lots of poems, including some great poems about trees. In fact, there's one poem I hope to have a chance to share with you. So there's that book, and they teamed up and did a job of bringing to publication John Clark's The Shepherd's Calendar, writing about different things in the months of the year. It's a beautiful story in poetry. That's one branch. Now, if I go back to this bigger limb, the one about the birds and the beasts are there, I could take a different branch from that. I could say, that reminds me of a book called The Birds and the Beasts Were There. It's a collection of nature poems, animal poems, by William Cole. And William Cole made numerous collections of poems, was silly, humorous poems and so forth, but certainly enjoyed finding poems about birds and the beasts. He found so many that he had to do a second book. This one is, I think he felt these were a little harder in a sense, maybe better for adults, so surely an adult would enjoy the poems in this book. And he put together another collection of poems that he thought would be better for younger readers. A zoo full of animals. But again, I enjoyed them, so I'll share them with you. He found so many poems about dogs that he made a book good dog poems. And about horses, the poetry of horses. He found seasons and celebrations. He just was a great editor, and meaning he explored all kinds of reading, and he was very selective. And this is more U.S. oriented in terms of the holidays. And one last book about the birds and the beasts were there. It's called How to Talk to the Birds and the Beasts. And this is more scientific. How do the animals communicate? There's a subtitle to this. By their body language and their sounds, you shall know them. And some, eye-opening things in terms of communication between animals and communicating with their own species, and animals communicating with other species, and different things, experimenting, that they found some neat things about the robin and its sense of territory, and so in fact I think humans could, and has been shown by at least one woman in England, she could recognize the just different feather characteristics, and recognize and give a name to a particular bird that came to her garden, and to the different birds and their calls and language. And she developed a tremendous rapport with these birds and found that they also could recognize others as different individuals. And that was mind-blowing reading about that. Well, thanks for joining me. Until next time, bye for now.